You could have heard this episode 48 hours early on our Patreon, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. By joining us for as low as $1 a month, you'll receive episodes early and gain access to our Discord server. All of our upcoming episodes will be up on our Patreon 48 hours before it hits our public podcast feeds. But if you're hearing this via our Patreon feed, we thank you so much for your support. We especially want to thank our Real Ones patrons, including Buchanan, Rob Marino, Grant McSpooky, Barely March, Jenna LaFleur, Dave Grohl, Darian Fisher, RXLRLD, Alec Richmanoff, Melissa Reddig, Lily Mikowski, Tony DeSerafino, Chris Wade, Selectric, David Colbert, Maze Farms, Bex, Georgia Mikowski, Noah Kurtz, Waffle113, Alex Bilovich, Alec Felder, Adam Edwards, Jackson Christ, Elizabeth, John O'Rourke, and Derek Pemberton. To become a Real One, consider supporting us with a $5 a month donation every month and get a shout out at the top of the pod. But anyways though, enjoy the episode. Okay, well, before we begin this podcast, this 90s rock #1 series, before we get into it, Gavin, you've given us some gifts. Is this correct?
Yeah, I would say I've given one gift 4 times. Look, here's the thing. I'm done with Cameo this season. Cameo is over for me. I love it. I respect it. But I'm hanging my Cameo Raptors in the jersey. But don't think that I'm not going out with a bang. So I have purchased 4 half-truth, half-lie cameos, basically, from 4 legends of this series, I would say, for the 4 individuals in this call with me. So I gave the same script to every single one of these guys, and I should have been smart and had it pulled up, but I'm dumb. So let me pull it up right now. This is the initial one I sent. I'm just going to turn it to a generic format because they kind of were. Insert my friend's name here is a music writer and insert band's name here fan who is about to start the big project of analyzing every song that went #1 on the alt-rock Billboard charts in the 90s. Could you give some words of support and tell them your favorite hit from this era? So kind of lies. We're not doing like a written thing. I mean, we're all writers in some capacity here, so it's not a big lie, but I just fibbed the truth a little as to what I was asking for. But I got 4 of them from 4 butt rock legends for all of you.
Oh no!
So let's start with our guest. We have a guest on the pod today. It's my twin brother Grant. Grant, I got you a cameo from guitarist for the band Three Doors Down, Chris Henderson. So let's hear what Chris thinks.
Grant, what's up, man? Chris Henderson from 3 Doors Down here, man. I hear you're about to review every #1 song from the 90s. I just looked the list up. It's incredible. There's a lot of good stuff on there. I think some of my favorites have been Nirvana.
Of course.
Foo Fighters, Learning to Fly.
Hell yeah.
A lot of that Green Day stuff, man. When that Green Day record came out, it really sparked my interest. I really like that, but especially the Nirvana. And for me, being a musician, doing what I do for a living, when I heard that Nirvana record and I heard how well it was recorded, I knew right then it was something special. Plus the songs were monster.
That's right.
Changed everything for everybody. But good luck on that, man. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty fun job and a pretty long job, man. So good luck.
God.
You got that right, brother.
You got that right. So thank you, Chris. I love that. But that's one of 4. Let's move on to Lily. Lily, I went Canadian for you, and I got Sum 41 guitarist Dave Brown Sound to give you some words of encouragement.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
For 3 minutes?
3 minutes? Yeah, he went sicko.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Hey, Lily, how are you? This is kind of cool because I don't get to do a lot of videos for actual writers, and this is kind of cool that you're doing this because one of my weaknesses as a musician is actually writing. I've always been more of a player that kind of like after I get handed a demo or something like that, I'll be like, okay, well, what's the story? And then I can come up with leads or parts and
I don't really know what he's on about right now.
But yeah, I hear you're doing some actual like writing in a magazine. So
Yeah,
I just wanted
sorry,
to cover
Dave.
both because I wasn't sure if you're like a writer as far
Look,
as like
talking is the writing
media
of the mouth,
portion
you know?
of music, or if you're
That's true.
you're writing as a musician as well. But either way, so what is it that drives you? You know, as
He's
far as your
interviewing
writing?
you.
Yeah, yeah. You're being
What is
interviewed,
it
Lily.
I know exactly who this is.
makes
I am
your
so
writing
starstruck right now.
exude you? You know what I mean? I'm sure I sound like every hacky professor you've ever dealt
Is that
with
a
in your
cat?
entire life. But listen,
Yes.
like
This
you're
is
doing
rocks.
something really cool because
Yeah, this is a very
I
sweet
grew up
man.
with music in the 90s. My kids are currently like just kind of going back and rediscovering a lot. Like you know, my stepdaughter's friend is always like, "Oh, throw on Biggie," and I'm like, yeah, for cool. I mean, there's a lot. You know, Scarface was great. You know, Black Moon was great. There's some great hip hop bands that weren't Biggie. Throw on Biggie. I was like, "All right."
I love your
But
kids.
How is
listen,
the
I'm glad you're doing
going?
this
It's
because
so on brand
there's
how
a lot
earnest this
of
It's just a
bands that I
little over
believe
halfway.
have been bypassed, and I want to
have
know
a full
too:
minute
is your are you going to be writing specifically about number ones in America? Are you going to be going like international charts? This is so interesting to me, and I really
We should do a
look forward to
Canada
what you're
episode
gonna
for
write.
Dave.
Oh, I've been
We
wanting
got
to do
it.
a Canada episode
and
since day one. It'll
especially
happen.
like
We'll get you
we're
on,
gonna
Dave.
have so much fun doing a deep dive into the 90s because
Lily, you're gonna
if
have to
you're
wite a
anything like
magazine
any
now,
other
just
musician,
so you
I
don't
am.
lie
you'll be
to
like,
this man.
this sounds like this, and then all of a sudden you'll be down that rabbit hole of
Still
influences.
going.
A lot of people end up on
This is insane.
you know
I will get in touch with Sum 41's publicist, and I will get this
Snake
interview.
Bites
I don't
Tiger
think he's in the band
on
right now,
YouTube,
or maybe
but
he is.
us music fans,
I think he
we
rejoined.
always end up on
Yeah,
like,
because he's been kind of
you know, just like Phil Collins invented reverb. So anyway, I hope it wasn't too long. I hope you have a great time writing this piece. I know as soon as it's done,
That's almost a
please,
Chekhov's gun for the series.
please
Yes.
That's almost a
It is.
Chekhov's
on
gun.
Instagram.
Dangerously
Let me know.
close.
I'd love to get a link to it. I'd love
Just
to
wait
read
for the
it
next
because
one. Something
I just-
insane
I don't know.
happens.
That's the era that I grew up in. That's the era
This
that
is
kinda
regular.
shaped my guitar
I mean,
playing.
it
So
kind of is.
I
It's
appreciate
insane
you doing
in how
that.
regular it is.
That was
This is
so sweet.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
thank
adorable.
you, Dave. That guy
That
was
was
like
adorable.
$25, and he gave us all of that. That was like
He did.
That's
he,
crazy.
he is the MVP. It
That's,
doesn't
like,
get better from
legitimately
there,
a
but
great Gavin.
yeah. Okay. Let's
Oh well, yeah.
Alex. I don't even know if I need to introduce this. This is Sonny Sandoval, the lead singer of POD.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Alex? This is Sonny from the rock band POD. Just saying congratulations on your new project. I hear you'll be analyzing every song that went number one on the alternative rock Billboard chart in the 90s. And so congratulations on that, and I hope you kill it. And I was asked to tell you some hits from that world, but I don't know all the hits. I only know what I like. And I probably couldn't name this. There's too many to name as far as songs go, but as far as bands go, I definitely got into the grunge scene at that time. I wasn't really into the Hollywood and kind of hair scene and metal scene, but then when bands like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam
Shouts out.
and those guys broke out, it was a little bit more real to me about the music and lifestyle more than this kind of entertainment Hollywood scene. But yep, from Nirvana went Foo Fighters. So I know those are all 90s
The
bands.
second person to say
like I
Nirvana
said,
to Foo
Stone Temple
Fighters.
Pilots, Soundgarden, even Rage was out at the time, already doing stuff in the mainstream. We were still underground. But yep, those are some of my favorite bands. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Of course.
I'm sure the list goes on. I'm sure every single one of those bands
He had to
it.
list all the
on the
deep
charts.
cuts, you know.
in that decade. But anyways, much love and support. Wish you all the best. And I hope your day is beautiful. All right. Take care of yourself.
That was fantastic.
Thank you,
you,
Sonny.
Sonny. Thank you,
This
Gavin.
is incredible.
Be-
And-
Alive by POD is one of the greatest songs of all time. I'm ready to
Oh,
say that.
that's right. That's right. And for Matty, I got you guitar player for your favorite band, Shinedown. This is Zach Myers. And spoiler alert, we're gonna do we eliminated the should have been episodes from the car commercial number ones. Should have beens is coming back, and this guy lists 2 of my should have beens. So fucking crazy. But let's get to it.
Matty, what up? This is Zach Myers from Shinedown, but hopefully you already knew that when this video started. You're wondering why a strange man is sending you videos with. That's the Gulf of Mexico back there. No, I didn't kidnap anyone. Anyway.
No, I haven't.
Heard that you're a music writer and you're a fan of Shinedown. Thank you very much. You're about to take on the ginormous task of analyzing and writing about every song that went number 1 on the Billboard Alt Rock charts in the 90s. I can tell you this, you're about to listen to a lot of good songs.
He's right.
Like
That's
the
right.
most
Yeah.
good songs.
That's right.
There's so many good songs, actually, that went number 1. You may not ever listen to other music again.
I
True.
mean,
I'll give you some of my favorites. I don't know if they went number 1. I'll give you some of my favorite alt-rock 90s songs. Obviously, probably first and foremost on the list is a song called Glycerine by the band.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic song. Another one that you've maybe never even heard of is a song called Everything Falls Apart by a band called Dog's Eye View. Fantastic song. What else? Collective Soul, December, fantastic song. Collective Soul, Precious Declaration, fantastic song. A lot of good ones. Counting Crows, any Counting Crows song, honestly. Long December, great song. What else was a single? Angel of the Silences, great song. Mr. Jones, duh. Lots
right.
of them. So many good ones. Toadies, Possum Kingdom.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy the listening to that much great music and taking it all in.
Is he at a restaurant?
I don't know how young you are, so I'm not sure if you were around when this music was being played on the radio. I was, being a man who's almost a 40. I'm a 40 man almost. I'm not there yet, but I'll be there. I'm gonna get there soon enough. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
We do.
take your time, enjoy the music, listen to it, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Can I say
was-
I'm so proud of
you,
all our
Gavin.
cameos for taking the assignment that seriously.
Yeah.
I think they were so excited to get asked about music for once.
So I had some cameo credits built up. I wanted to get Will some cameos from wrestlers for his birthday, and none of them got back to me. I think I made him too stupid. But so that don't worry about how much that costed, because the smiles and the laughter is all that I need. And let's talk about
Aw.
Peter Gabriel. Not
That's-
yet.
all right, folks.
That's
let's
adorable. Thank you, Gavin.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you,
Gavin,
Gavin.
so
Thank you,
much.
Gavin.
Let's fucking.
I've been acknowledged by Sunny Sandoval.
All right, folks, let's hit that fucking theme music. Let's get into episode 1 of the 90s Rock number ones. Welcome, everybody, to episode 1 of the 90s Rock number ones. I am one of your 3 co-hosts. Of course, it is me, Matty, @Movie and Prince on Twitter, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Gavin and Alex.
We are free of the Weezer curse somehow, baby. It's the 90s. Weezer did not go number 1.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I'm fucking stoked. I mean, we've been wanting this pretty much since day 1 of car commercial number ones. But yeah, I'm just so fucking stoked to do this again. I missed it.
Yeah.
As did I. So much like the 2010s and the 2000 series, the Butt Rock number ones and the Car Commercial number ones, we are going to review almost every number 1 on Billboard's Modern Rock charts throughout the 1990s. So from 1990 to the end of 1999, we are reviewing just about every single number 1. Although I will say preemptively, just because people are going to go, wait, you didn't mention this song? Gavin did the math yesterday. We cut 30 songs from the list.
And most of them are from 1990, the year 1990. Like, it's insane.
Just still going to be the longest series of the 3.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Even with all those cuts. So if there is enough demand, we'll probably do a best of the cuts. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
I am so excited to get this series rolling because, again, Butt Rock number 1's so much fun. Cargo Rush number 1's very torturous, but a very noble experiment. But finally,
noble.
Noble? Biased, I would say.
I think it was a necessary look at a decade of music that really was not being analyzed so thoroughly. Someone had to do it.
What you all went through, I still feel like peripheral guilt for kind of giving you the idea for that. Like, I think it was a little bit my suggestion that got the whole thing started.
Well, here's the thing. I've been wanting to do something on the 2010s alt charts since I started working at college radio, where like my station was mostly like mainstream alt. Like, I had been wanting to which is why the Chris Farron episode we did back in like the beginning of 2019 was so fun, because it was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then obviously, wait, was it 2019? Was it 19 or I think it might have been 2020. My beginning of 2020, I think. Never mind. But nevertheless, again, it was a noble experiment. But finally, we have reached the gates of Valhalla, and we're going to talk about some of the greatest rock music ever made.
I'm sorry, y'all, but the Shinedown guy said unprompted that he has not kidnapped anyone. Unprompted.
I'm starting to not believe him.
guys been involved in sex trafficking. His shirt has a lot of people asking a lot of questions already answered by the shirt. But folks, we are here today. We're talking about we're episode 1. We are going to review just about almost every number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock charts, from when Nelson Mandela was freed from prison to Margaret Thatcher's resignation as Prime Minister of England. But we're not joined. It's not just us 3. We're joined by 2 very special guests. Of course, our podcast guest is Lily. Welcome back to the number 1s.
Hello, thank you. I'm so excited to be on this episode, and I just moved yesterday and have gotten like 6 hours of sleep in the last 3 days.
Oh my God.
I'm happy to be on an episode where I've got some real like running on fumes energy going.
Perfect. I think you are the first person to be on all of the number 1 series so far.
That's technically true. Yeah,
the first Triple Crown champion.
Besides us 3, of course, but the first guest to be on all 3 the trilogy.
We love to get achievements by technicalities. It's so nice. I really feel like I earned it.
But also joining us, our other special guest is Gavin's brother, Grant. Welcome to the pod.
I feel the need to apologize. I had a hand in picking some of the early stuff on these playlists, and I feel like this is my trial in a way. There's some stinkers that are directly my fault.
But what would?
Well, there's not many on this first episode. Second episode,
we've got some.
We'll decide.
This is like 40%.
Okay,
stinkers.
This is my trial, and episode 2 is gonna be like my execution.
Oh boy, but folks, God, just so glad to be here. So glad we're finally doing it. And once again, and really quick off top, want to thank Barely March for once again providing the theme song for this series, and we'll be hearing some more music from him throughout the rest of the series, and also he'll be on an episode later on.
Co-writer of a Skeleton Utility Vehicle, Barely March.
Favorite song of all time.
Oh God, Haunted SUV, baby.
Wait, what
Haunted
do you mean
SUV.
Co-writer? Danzig wrote that.
Oh, of course, yes.
Boy,
look, it's you too.
It's
you too. They're coming, baby.
Oh.
We're gonna talk about you too.
So yeah, I am pulling up the Wikipedia page. So I will say, our first song on this week's episode is not the first song to go number 1 in the 90s. We decided our first 2 cuts were the first 2 songs to go number 1 in the 90s. We're gonna mention all these songs that went number 1. We're just not gonna talk about.
We're gonna let you get mad at us for cutting
the
them.
first song.
Yes.
I think we cut the first song. We cut the first song because it technically went number 1 in 1989 and was technically the first number 1. I think we were like, okay, let's
That did not stop us with
No,
with
I think so.
other songs.
This is true. So our the first song that went number one was "Blues from a Gun" from the Jesus and Mary chain. I'm not totally sure why I think we just cut it because it was like, okay, this band is probably too cool to talk about during the series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was we were really focusing on weeks at number one.
Yeah,
at the beginning there, because there's you just see so many ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of one weekers.
Yeah.
But then after that, for 3 weeks, so Jesus Mary Chain, Blues My Gun, number one for 3 weeks, starting on December 30th, 1989. And then on January 20th, 1990, the Psychedelic Furs were number one with their song House. And Psychedelic Furs, do not worry, folks. We will talk about them on the next episode.
Yeah, they had a lot in the 90s for some reason. But
yes,
we'll get to them.
But that song went number one for 3 weeks. But our first song that we are officially talking about for this series is Peter Murphy's Cuts You Up, which went number one on February 10th, 1990 for 7 weeks and ended up being the number one modern rock track for 1990. So we're getting the ball rolling with the biggest song on the charts of the entire year. So let's hear a little bit of Cuts You Up from Peter Murphy. This song kind of slaps.
I'm so glad this is the first one we get to talk about. It's just so fun for me personally to get to start talking about the fucking himbo grandfather of the goths, Peter Murphy.
I hear this and I just smell the Aquanet I used to put in my hair when I did goth hair every day. Like, this is just high school memories.
Yeah, this song sounds like an ill-fitted leather jacket, but like in a good way.
I was gonna say, I could easily see this being the theme song to like a bad UPN show, late 90s, early 2000s. I still love it. This is like one of my favorites.
Yeah, here's the thing. Think about the champions that came before us. All the small things in butt rock. Kings and Queens and car commercial number ones. You gotta set a high bar. Those were two top 10 songs for me, if you were paying attention. You will hear a certain stinger if a song is the top 10. This time around, I decided to be very dumb about this, but this song came very close. This is in my top 15 for sure. This is a good song.
Yeah, I enjoy this song. I think I've only listened to Bela Lugosi's Dead from Bauhaus, but this song's kind of a slapper, and the video is fucking hilarious.
Yes,
it's insane.
I love it so much.
As Peter Murphy fades in and out and is just kind of really sad and running through the woods.
But also we should note, accompanied by
yes.
a topless man who is blowing an electric bass.
Yes.
And he's like, he doesn't even have his hands down on the fret. He's just like shaking them around.
Also, in what world does a bass make those sounds?
Yeah, like, seriously.
They couldn't afford a violin.
A full violin in the song.
It's art.
But yeah, no, this certified slapper here, he's singing, he's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. Just the overly dramatic. The overly dramatic heft he has, and just every line cuts you up.
I love the snotty ass na thing at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. I could never be objective about Peter Murphy, because at the height of teenage angst, I found Bauhaus and Bela Lugosi's Dead, and I just immediately just absorbed their entire discography. Gavin was there. It was bad.
I'm about to say, apparently there's some deep Peter Murphy lore for the listeners not familiar with Peter Murphy and Bauhaus. What is your favorite Peter Murphy lore story that you think that everyone should hear to learn more about this wonderful man who is a very important figure in goth culture?
Can I give my top 3?
Yes, please.
Okay.
My number one
merrier.
is not in Grant's top 3. Can I give that one also?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, I believe in ladies first, so Lily, I will let you go ahead of me.
Thank you. So sweet. Mine's quick, and I invoked it in chat earlier today, but the fact that the Bauhaus Coachella reunion set opened with him doing Bela Lugosi's Dead suspended upside down on the stage for the whole 10 minutes. And then he got up and did the rest of the set standing up. It was just for that one song. It's one of the funniest just things
So good.
an aging goth has ever done.
So good.
Uh,
So,
all right.
I guess I'll say this beforehand so the goths don't slide into my DMs and tell me how dare I disrespect the king. Like, I love Peter Murphy. I still love him, even though he's embarrassed himself for a good 20, 30 years now. It's like, Bauhaus is still a top 3 band for me. Peter was the person I looked at, 80s pictures of him, and I was like, well, I'm not heterosexual, so like... But my number 3 has got to be his appearance in the Twilight films.
Of course.
He played a character called the Cold Man. He's wearing this.
Yes. What temperature was he?
I don't know. Apparently not very high. But he's wearing this awful wig, and he's got these Halloween contacts in. He's only in like flashbacks and stuff. But there's pictures of him as the Cold Man online, and they're so good. Number 2 has got to be the DUI.
Series has started off great when our first artist that we're talking about has
Yeah,
a DUI story.
So, I wish I remember what car he was driving, but it was like a Toyota Camry or something. Like,
yeah.
I always, for some reason, imagined it in a hearse, but
Oh, for sure.
he drove his car, hit a Mercedes, and then tried to drive away, but a spectator followed him, managed to block him in, and waited until the police came, and then they found meth on him and booked him, and his mugshot is so good. Like, I would get it tattooed on my body in this instance. And number 1 has got to be the cheeseburger. Like, incredibly
I know
recently.
this one.
Explain.
Okay, so incredibly recently, like 2018, 2017, he had a full onstage meltdown in the middle of one of his gigs because his bodyguard was eating a cheeseburger in the middle of his set. And he
That's
was
awesome.
like screaming on stage about how distracting it is and stuff. And he was like, I'm trying to play, and you're over there eating. And he got the guy fired, which is like a major dick move. The man was just
boo.
trying to eat. But all of the headlines were just fantastic. My favorite was Bela Lugosi's fed. Peter Murphy has a meltdown over cheeseburger.
That's awesome.
And it's like, it's one of the many things he has in common with Morrissey. Lily was talking about that earlier in the group chat, but like, he is
Morrissey. We'll get to him next week.
He's Morrissey in a different coat of paint, all chromatics, and a little less embarrassing, but I still love the man.
You know, if Peter was trying to disrespect me while I'm trying to eat my cheeseburger, you know what I say to him? You know what I say to him?
I think I know what you would say.
Hey, Peter. I'd be like, hey, Peter, let me enjoy my cheeseburger.
Matty has paid for a soundboard so that we can do stuff like that.
Yes,
Podcast
because we switched. So we originally were just doing Zencastr only, but we switched to a dual setup, and I couldn't use the soundboard the Zencastr provides, and I was sad about that. I didn't feel like opening up stuff on Audition and having to like kind of scurry through. So I've got a soundboard. Let's try it out. Classy, got the pain.
Excellent.
Classic.
Yeah, you got your classics. You got your classics, and of course, a subtle reminder of car commercial number 1.
Jared's clean shaven now. It's unacceptable.
End of an era.
But I want to say my favorite new addition to the soundboard, and we'll keep adding this throughout the series because trust me, there's gonna be more stuff.
I have a suggestion. Can we
Yes.
do Will's home address and home phone number?
Absolutely. But I think, you know, from our not the last episode we did, the one we did before that with Barely March on the butt rock stuff. Another great soundboard clip right here.
Yeah, I needed to hear that again.
More West the merrier. But
Yeah.
let's move on to our next song. Are we ready to
Sure.
Get your Pope pictures ready.
I'm so mad I don't have a printer.
So our next song went number 1 the next week on March. Actually, well, of course, Cuts You Up was number 1 for 7 goddamn weeks. Probably one of the longest reigns up until I think until episode 2. We have a long reign coming in in that episode. But
wow,
next up was Sinead O'Connor's classic song, very notable song, Nothing Compares to You, which was number 1 on March 31st, 1990 for 1 week. So let's hear a little bit of Nothing Compares to You.
Another song it's hard to gauge objectively because I have such a Pavlovian response to it. Like we were talking in the chat the other day, I really cannot tell if I like this song because it's good or because it's just like canonically a song everybody likes, and I think it's somewhere in the middle.
I would agree. We'll get into it. We'll get into it a little bit, but like, I like this song. I think it's I like the song. I don't know. Like, there's a running theme. There's a running theme. Did we lose Grant?
Uh-oh.
I think we did.
We might have lost Grant.
Oh, shit.
Let me make sure they're still on Zencat. Oh, we may have lost Grant. Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks, back after a brief technical difficulty there. But, of course, the song we're talking about now, Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor, a white woman classic, one might say. I will start off. I like this song. I don't know. I generally am anti-ballads, but this one, I mean, here's the thing. It's written by Prince.
Matty, what the fuck?
I don't, again, most, like I said, ballads, I mean, I don't really, and ballads are, here's the thing. Pop, I would say I am generally anti-pop ballads. I think most pop artists.
Okay.
I understand why ballads are, like, I get it in terms of pacing for an album or just sort of diversity for an artist. But for the most part, most pop ballads suck complete ass. This one doesn't. I think this is a nice ballad, partially because, I mean, it's written by Prince, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. We're not we'll maybe discuss the Prince, the Sinead O'Connor Prince.
Shouts
beef.
out to Prince. Wait,
Shouts
they
to
had
Prince.
beef?
I think they had their...
Yeah, that's soup.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, Sinead O'Connor talks about it. She's got a memoir, I think, that came out recently, and I think she talks about Prince, and she didn't say nice things about Prince.
No, she did not.
No, but Prince is dead, so I mean,
yeah, open fire.
All right, pop off, Gavin.
Oh, I'm not gonna pop off. I don't like it. It sounds like karaoke to me.
I get it.
Yeah,
It is kind of.
It's karaoke.
pretty much
Yeah.
is. It's just very, very good. She has a very good voice, and like history obviously wronged her, and like she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of,
Yeah.
I told everybody on this podcast to print out a photo of the Pope.
I
Of
didn't
course,
do it.
if you don't, well, of course, a lot of people did not listen to me, but maybe they did their own interpretations of what I said. But obviously, famously on SNL, Sinead O'Connor performed and tore up a picture of the Pope, I think Pope John Paul II, and said, "Fight the real enemy." And so, history has vindicated Sinead O'Connor. So, in honor, I have, I believe this. I could not find. This is maybe the photo she tore up. I'm not sure, but it looks pretty close to it. Gavin has a piece of paper that just says "the Pope" on it in all caps lettering in his bad handwriting.
It's on a napkin. It was tough.
Okay, a napkin. Grant has a Pope hat that
I do.
Again, if you guys don't already know, Grant is a drag queen also, and so just lots of weird props, I imagine.
Yes.
And then Alex is getting a piece of paper right now ready.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
This is great for our audio podcast.
Let's talk about the song a bit. Yeah.
Let's talk about this while Alex gets stuff ready. Wait, Lily, Lily, I cannot hear you right now.
You there?
Yeah, we're waiting for Lily to come back in.
So while we wait for that, I'll just say I'm kind of in the middle of the road. I agree with Gavin. The backing track on this is some real karaoke magic. You can basically hear, especially with the backing vocals doing the with the reverb way up. But I think Sinead has a really good voice. I watched it with the video and I was like, I kind of get it. She's crying. She's sad.
There we go. Now I hear you, Lily. Yep. Now you're back.
Okay. What about? Oh, I am in the Zencaster. Okay, sorry about that.
You're all good. But I was just getting ready to say that a running theme through this first episode is that white women were going through it in 1990.
Yes.
Sinead,
they were way down now.
Yeah, it seems like everyone. Yeah, fair point. And some guys were jealous too. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It was never enough.
Yeah.
we're like violently like zigzagging between like men who just hate women so much and white women who are so sad, just so down bad.
So
that was the energy of the time, truly.
Truly. I mean, like I said, white women were going through it in 1990. White women are still going through it now in 2021. I mean, look at Phoebe Bridgers. Look at Lucy Dacus.
It's true. But before we get to Rippy time, I do just want to say that in watching the music video for this, I did realize that this is like a 7 out of 10 song that was like thrust into the canon by an 11 out of 10 music video.
Absolutely.
Like it's one of those where like that's the reason why that was the hit. And I was thinking about it too. Like that video is so jarring in the context of like coming out of this wave of 80s excess that like no wonder people lost their mind at this like strange alien looking like almost bald woman just like staring them dead in the face and singing.
I gotta ask, do y'all think it would have been enhanced if they removed like the clips of her just walking through the woods and it was just
100%.
like a long shot? Yeah, I agree.
Probably.
Yeah.
I do want to say we are also responsible for being unfair to Sinead because we cut one of her songs later on. I will listen to it on my own and be nice to that one. I just don't love this cover.
On behalf of Sinead O'Connor, I made a list of people that she feuded with, and I would like to tell them individually to suck my ass. Okay, Joe Pesci, suck my ass.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Yeah.
The Pope and the Catholic Church, you can suck my ass, Major.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna, suck my ass. Prince's butler that continually served her soup when she didn't want it. Suck my ass. I have the quote if you want the quote.
Yeah, give us the quote.
All right. In her 2021 memoir, Rememberings, O'Connor described her meeting with Prince in detail, including having his butler serve soup repeatedly despite no desire for soup.
That's so good.
Oh my god. Sorry, Sinead, like again, the experience with Prince does not sound good, but that's just such a fucking objectively funny thing.
Yeah. Agreed. Also,
for the soup.
Miley Cyrus, suck my ass.
Fuck Miley. Well,
yeah.
But again, we mentioned the Pope. Let's tear these Pope photos up real quick. I'm gonna get real close to the mic so you hear it.
I'm just gonna try that. Fight the real enemy.
Fight the real
enemy. Fight the real enemy. Including, but our next song is not so much an enemy, I believe, if I'm getting the order correct. So of course, Sinead O'Connor went number 1, March 31st, 1990 for 1 week. And then after that, we had we had Midnight Oil, Blue Sky Mine the next week, April 7th, 1990 for 1 week. After that, The Church, Metropolis, April 14th, 1990 for 1 week. And then our next song, Enjoy the Silence from Depeche Mode, went number 1 on April 21st, 1990 for 3 weeks. So hey, let's hear a little bit of Enjoy the Silence. This is just one of the most goated songs ever made.
It's
just getting that off the
phenomenal.
bat.
I love this song so much.
It's completely unimpeachable. I love what a high this series is starting out on.
The most romantic song about shutting the hell up ever written.
Just the choir synth hits, the perfectly sequenced drums, this British motherfucker going off.
I would like to say, Matty, you dodged a bullet with this one because Martin Gore wrote this to be a ballad, a la Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compared to You. And then Alan Wilder said, no, we're not doing a ballad. We need to up the tempo. We need to make this more of a dance song. And I think massive improvement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good call.
Good fucking call. Again, you could have had here's the thing. It could have been an okay ballad, but turning it into a synth pop banger, just again, what an S tier decision for
phenomenal.
an S tier song.
This might be my number 1 this week.
It's in contention.
I think it probably is. I think there's one I really love, but I think just in terms of this is the obvious number one. There's one I think comes pretty close, but like this one's pretty unimpeachable.
Yeah, that's
like,
right. Let's not get around it, folks. This is an all-time banger. This one, you're gonna hear this one in Sears. If Sears isn't even around, but you're gonna hear it if you go there.
Gavin, would you say this is a top 10 song of the entire series
Matty,
for you?
This is a top 20 song of the entire series for me.
I'm gonna play the sound clip anyways.
It's a lie, but it's top 20.
Well, I should have played that before, but again, that's just to get you familiar with that wonderful sound clip that Grant has made.
I'm so sorry for creating that. I made
it's
it
wonderful.
It doesn't sound bad enough, so I sent it to my computer and then recorded it off my phone to make it sound
amazing.
The music video. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You would all agree that this is not a horny song, right?
It's more romantic to me.
Why?
Yeah. It's horny to the
vibes.
extent that like
Vibes.
anything sung by Dave Gahan is inherently horny,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
on the spectrum of his horniness, it's pretty low down there.
Yeah.
I get like
This
this
is no
song
policy of
isn't
truth.
horny. The Sinéad song is not horny. Cuts You Up is not horny. They all sound absurdly horny.
Yes.
This is the horniest sounding playlist we've ever
Yes.
discussed.
Yeah, this song sounds so fucking horny. Every child named Damien who is under 30 years old has been conceived to this song.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I described it as like the best song you could ever play while you suck off Dracula. But like,
Yes.
it's like,
Well, I think it comes a close second to Skeleton Utility.
of course,
Beast.
yeah, it's a fantastic song. But yeah, like, yeah, and lyrically not horny at all. It's very nice, but yeah, just the vibe of this song, yeah, it's sweaty.
Matty, you were going to talk about the music video, which I'm very
briefly,
excited.
Yes.
Music video. You have
insane.
what's his name again? Not Peter.
We're so
Dave
obsessed with
Gohan?
Peters.
Not Peter. Well, again, that's not that. We're not even close to Peter Gabriel yet.
Yeah, we can't.
But whatever the Depeche Mode guy. He's in a crown. He's in a robe. He's just walking around in the English woods, like like where like a sheep farm would be. He's just like a fucking baller ass king, but he's not really balling. He's like a king in a hangover, just like oh fuck.
He's got a blue
I'm
lawn
not even
chair.
supposed to.
He's just
be
walking
here.
around. Yeah, he pulls out his lawn chair and has a little nap in the middle of the song.
They didn't
This
even paint
is-
it gold.
No, it's a regular chair.
Which like big mood, folks. That's gonna be me when I go to LA
Real
like
close.
next month.
Yeah,
It really is. I want Sleepy Dave to be the thumbnail for this episode.
This
Just to
is
set the
also
energy.
the synopsis for a fan made Viva La Vida music video that I watched in middle school.
Oh my god.
It's basically the same thing.
yeah.
Oh boy.
I have a master list of goth and alternative bands that have done their own version of this song.
Oh boy.
Originally, I was going to send this in as like a playlist because I pay $8 a month to the Indie Heads Podcast Patreon. But I figured I'd just do it now because one song over and over again, even a song that is really as phenomenal as this. Like, these aren't all Depeche Mode, baby. So we're starting this off with a psychobilly cover by the psychobilly band.
Right.
The
Well, that's for
Brain.
Gavin.
Yes,
That's Gavin's.
that's
That's
for
Gavin's
Gavin.
wheelhouse. Gavin, you've drawn a lot of weird face. We'll get into it throughout the
Yeah.
series, but Gavin's drawn a lot of weird Facebook
Fuck, I
groups.
forgot to do a bit. I was gonna ask them about one song a week. So next week,
Well, ask them. Ask them now. We're gonna be going for like the next probably the next hour and a half. So you got time.
All right.
But go ahead, Grant. Go ahead, Grant.
Up next, we have the gothic metal band that I was obsessed with in middle school. Lacuna Coil did their own.
Oh,
version
of course.
Yes. If you want a goth surf band that literally released it, I think either this month or this week. I just looked and they released something. Messer Troops just put one out, and it is literally surf rock. Enjoy the silence.
wonderful.
If you're a fan of 90s alternative and space rock, the band Failure has their own Enjoy the Silence cover.
Alrighty.
Are you a skate punk kid that loves like spiked bracelets and green mohawks? Because No Use for a Name has a motherfucking Enjoy the Silence.
I don't even want to know how that sounds.
Yeah, that one I didn't even click on. Previous butt rock offender, Amberlyn, they did their
Oh
own
yes.
version. Previous
I don't
butt
wanna
rock
hear that.
offender, Breaking Benjamin.
Yes.
Has their
Okay, I
own
want
version.
to hear that
Okay.
one.
Yeah,
I
I
wanna hear
would.
that
I
one.
would listen to that
Yeah.
one.
That's got to be what ends the episode.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But and then my all-time favorite, the last one is if you love Linkin Park, Depeche Mode has a remix of this with Mike Shinoda.
Oh
Hell
shit.
yeah.
He doesn't
I gotta hear that.
he doesn't do a verse or anything. He just makes it sound like a Linkin Park song, and it kind
That
of
Oh my
does.
god, yeah,
That
that's
rocks.
awesome.
Actually, I think it would translate
I do
well.
too.
So
Yeah,
I
it
would.
translates
listen to it.
incredibly well. I was listening to this and I was like, this is the best one. I'm sorry, Lacuna Coil and the Brains, but yeah, I love the song.
Yeah,
It's so good.
unimpeachable classic.
Yeah, loved it in high
Alrighty.
school, love it now.
Great song. Let's get to next part of the list if we're ready to move on.
All right.
So our next song after this, next song on the chart went number 1. Sinead O'Connor, Emperor's New Clothes, number 1, May 12th, 1990 for 1 week. After that, Midnight Oil once again, Forgotten Years, May 19th, 1990 for 1 week. And after that, our next song, The Sundays, Here's Where the Story Ends, for number 1 on May 26th, 1990 for 1 week. And I will say, for the most part, a lot of our cuts were really just like, if it was like a not noteworthy band or just someone that was like, okay, like, do we really need to discuss them during, like, Midnight Oil? If we end up doing an episode where we talk about some of the cuts, we'll probably pick a Midnight Oil song because they had a lot in this period. But I'm gonna start playing the song right now. I think, Grant, you might have been the one to save this song from the deaths.
Yeah,
So-
I need to tell a story. In senior year of high school, I decided to abandon my entire goth persona. And I was like, I need to go in the opposite direction because I have no friends outside of my twin brother. So I started listening to 90s twee pop and started wearing cardigans and colored flannels and shit. And I was listening to stuff like this. I love this song. This is my number 1. It reminds me of Tiger Trap and like Go Sailor and all those Rose Melberg bands. If it sounds like it could be on the But I'm a Cheerleader soundtrack, I'm into that shit.
Yeah, this is a great song.
this is a
very
slapper.
very glad you
Yes.
saved this song.
Yeah,
Once
I love
again,
this song.
Once again, white women were going through it in 1990, folks. This is
I'm just
Okay,
vibing out. This is a great
Yeah,
song.
this is a great song.
It's so good. Yeah, this is my number 1 this week
Yeah.
too. This song is just like truly stunning.
phenomenal.
This is a very fascinating era where it's like the alternative music is still truly alternative because like I've never fucking heard this song before in my life, but it's a slapper. Like anything before
Yeah.
Well,
Nirvana
It's so good.
is just like forgotten.
Well, and I think that's the weird thing about the first couple episodes of the series too, is I was thinking about, like, we always talk about when decades like actually start in terms of the cultural reset. And I think the 90s took maybe the longest to start of any
Yes.
decade. It was 1988 until like 1993.
Yeah.
And then things turned around very
I would-
suddenly and aggressively. But
yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil. But basically these first 2 episodes are a lot of 80s runoff, and then
Mhm.
episode 3 we kickstart right into the fucking 90s
yeah.
with that first one.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say what the first one of episode 3 is, but we're gonna head ourselves. No, this is a great song. I'm very glad. Like I said, I may have to listen to this album. I dug
did.
this.
Alex,
Yeah,
it
I
was
think I
very
will.
good. It was very good.
I kind of just don't really care for a lot of like this kind of 90s twee stuff, but I felt this song pretty much. It hit me in the heart a little bit.
So I gotta ask, this is like distinctly like kind of part of the 80s jangle pop movement, but do you think this kind of gave people a taste of like the Cranberries and stuff? Because I hear a lot of
oh,
Flavor
it
by the
sounds
Cranberries.
so Cranberries.
Yes.
This sounds
Yeah.
like a no need to argue deep cut. Like,
Absolutely.
unquestionably.
This is gonna make some people unhappy, but I kind of thought that this was like my first impression was that this is like if the Smiths weren't evil.
no, I get it.
No, I hear
That's
it.
fair.
I hear it.
Yeah, it's for like the influence is pretty clear to me,
Yes.
but
Mhm.
it's a great song.
Yeah, this is absolutely like smushing the Smiths and Cocteau Twins together.
Yes, that is a
That's a combo
perfect
like
summation.
an irrational amount.
Yeah.
Like in the same way that I am unable to be objective about Cuts You Up just because it sounds the way it does, like similarly anything with this type of vibe I'm just immediately a sucker for, but this time the song is like actually as good as the aesthetic.
So I have a fun fact about the Sundays. So the Sundays famously broke up, but bassist Paul Brindley and guitarist David, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Gavarin, it looks like.
Oh yeah, they're Irish, right?
Yes.
Well, you can kind of tell by the whole like everything about the band, but, just in case.
They are best friends to this day.
Oh,
They were interviewed about the drummer and singer, drummer Patch Hannon and vocalist Harriet Wheeler, and they say, oh yeah, those two, they're still making music to this day, but they refuse to release it. So like, we got to get the Sundays back together and release some music.
The
I
Patreon
think-
tier.
I did look at the Wikipedia. They're like the drummer and the singer, like they're a married couple. They got kids.
Yeah.
Like that's why the band broke up, because they were like, they had kids, and they're like, okay, it's gonna settle down. But still, hey, come back. It's time for the
Yes,
Sundays.
please come back.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back.
New generation
folks.
would love this type of bullshit.
Headline the official Indie Heads podcast festival
Alongside Puddle and Mud.
Yeah.
Puddle and Mud.
alongside Puddle and Mud.
Which Gene Loves Jezebel are we going to get for it?
Both.
Both. We'll have to
let's get
do
them
it
both.
in the ocean, like on a tanker or something.
Oh boy, are we ready to go to our next song?
Oh, yes, we're ready.
Okay, so after Sundays were number 1 on May 26th, Depeche Mode went number 1 once again with Policy of Truth on June 2nd, 1990. But then after that, on June 9th, 1990, World Party went number 1 with Way Down Now for 5 weeks. So let's hear a little bit of Way Down Now from World Party. I did not like this song at first, but it's grown on me.
It's so
grown quite a
fucking
bit.
good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
The song has
I think once
ungrown on
Gavin-
me. I hate it more every time I hear it.
It goes back and forth. I think Gavin's observation about this kind of was like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, I was in the car first time I heard this, and Gavin was like, listen to the lyrics and how down bad this dude is, and I just started laughing.
This guy is thinking.
He's quite literally way down. He's quite literally way down now.
The music video also just saved this for me. They're in that shitty warehouse, and people are throwing garbage on them.
I had a realization about this band earlier today, which is that they sound exactly like Parquet Courts. Like, if you presented this to me as a Parquet Courts song, I would not doubt it. I wouldn't question.
I disagree. I think I heard more Twin Peaks than Parquet Courts.
I don't listen to that band, so
yeah. I feel like this is not. It's not. I would say definitely. I can hear it though. I now you say it. Like definitely some stuff off Wide Awake a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like clocked like Twin Peaks for this. But no, this song it's kind of fun, but also it is very like it's fun. But if you think about it for too long, it becomes very, very annoying.
And
So
very,
you just
very
kind of
funny.
you kind of have to go no thoughts head empty on this one, folks.
So I loved the Rolling Stones. when
Yeah, I was
younger.
gonna bring that up.
And listening to this is like if that music had aged well for me. This and the fact that it's mixed and produced and sounds like just almost any other 90s song create an experience that's just deeply comforting for me, like White Noise. He's doing a Mick Jagger impression. It's kind of better than The Real Thing. And as Gavin would be about to tell you, they interpolate Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah.
The woo woos.
Yeah, by the second this guy starts talking about how down he is, and then like starts introspectively looking at how down bad he is.
Yes.
The second
It's so good.
some backup singers start going woo, woo, like I'm
So good.
sold.
Oh, speaking of background vocals, do you know who did background vocals on this album?
Who?
Sinead O'Connor.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my god. There you
also-
go.
Yeah. Also, fun facts. This band toured on Steely Dan's first Australian tour in 2007. And their lead singer, Carl Wallinger, don't know how to pronounce your name, Carl, I'm so sorry. He collaborated with and did songs with Mr. Peter Gabriel in 2006.
2006, wow.
Chekhov's gun, folks.
Wow.
Chekhov's gun for Peter. Once again, I must remind the listeners at home, we're not going to talk about Peter Gabriel for another 4 weeks. It's not
Yeah.
another
How
4
can you
weeks.
not?
But no, this one's fun. This one is fun. And do we have any more thoughts on Way Down Now? Which again, a song that was number 1 for 5 weeks, and I literally never heard it until
just
preparing for this episode.
It's
Shout
so
out
good.
to the tambourine player in the music video who was trying her hardest to make the tambourine look cool.
Yep. Look, I get the appeal of this song, but also everything you are all saying about it as a positive is like making me hate it more. I think I am just like trained to dislike songs like this on a primal level, because like
Here, I get it, because like we were talking about the Sundays and how like it led to the Cranberries. Like this led to like Dave Matthews for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the problem. I like hear this song and picture just a guy in like a tweed beanie who doesn't own a bed frame.
Yeah, this is like proto
this is the
Hootie.
anthem for that type of guy, and I cannot tolerate it.
Look, dudes rock. All right,
Dudes rock.
Yeah, they probably put this cassette inside a hacky sack. Like,
Oh my god.
but yeah, like, I like that. So,
Well then, our next song, which has the opposite vibe. Well, I guess same subject, different approach.
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh my god! He is the Joey.
yeah.
He's Joey. I was gonna say that Joey is Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh, but clearly he's the Joey.
I was gonna say
Oh,
she's
God.
singing to a baby kangaroo.
Oh my
World
god.
Party Australian. Is that why they were in Australia with Steely Dan?
Who knows?
They sound Australian. I feel
Yeah,
like
they probably
Yes,
are.
the songs. Yeah, same song, different perspective. I love that take. Let's listen to it.
God. Well, yeah, next song is Concrete Blonde's Joey, which was number 1 on July 14th, 1990 for 4 weeks. Let's hear a little bit of Joey. So y'all were very, for the praise give the Sundays, which again, I think is a great song. I think besides Enjoy the Silence, this is my favorite one of the week.
This is my favorite one of the week. I think.
Solidarity. There we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
It's another
What?
one where I like can't fully parse my feelings on it. I think I like enjoy it on a biological level, but I haven't. Also, I've been so preoccupied that I haven't really like bothered to dig into what it is doing. I mean, just the way it's doing it. I'm like, you could be up to whatever in that song.
I'm with Lily.
So this will go down easy.
Yeah, I like it, but Grant pointed out something that I was gonna say in the chat. Like we had the exact same thought on this, which is that it's like it's Every Breath You Take musically, but like played through Jesus and Mary chain, sort of. But like it's
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
that's boosting it
that's
up.
the
for
twin
me.
magic that me and Grant had. We
I-
both came to that thought.
So, am I the only one that knew who Concrete Blonde were before the series started?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd heard the
I
band name,
kind of did.
for sure.
Okay,
I had to
so-
look into who they were because I was running through noted patron my mom. I was talking to her about what songs are on the playlist this week, and we had like a 20-minute argument of trying to figure out. She basically, long story short, mistook, because she was like, "There's no woman who's the lead singer of Concrete Blonde. Like that doesn't make any sense." I saw them once, and it was like all guys with big blonde hair. It took us 20 minutes to figure out that she was talking about the band Platinum Blonde.
Oh my god, yeah.
Not Concrete Blonde, who she had never heard of. So I did have a bit of a look into Jan and Napolitano through that, and I'm sure Grant has more for us on that front.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is entirely on the list because I thought this would be a shrug off song. I thought we'd all say it's kind of whatever. And I could say that this same album has a song called Bloodletting parentheses the Vampire Song, which is
Hell
a
yeah.
certified Grant McSpooky Halloween bop. I play it every year at my Halloween party, and every year someone's like, "Ooh, what's this?" But I've really come around to this song. I really like Jeanette's voice.
Oh yeah, she's a great singer.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal singer. She's still working. Concrete Blonde, I think they broke up, but she's doing solo stuff right now. I guess I should talk about her hair in the music video, which is maybe the worst music video hair I've ever seen.
And not a good video. It looks like they're playing in the Twin Peaks Roadhouse.
Yes,
like,
it does.
Before it existed.
Wait, what's her name again?
Jonette, either Napolitano or Napolitano. I don't know.
Jonette, DM me. I have a girlfriend, but DM me.
She's got like this teased blonde bob, and it's got specific 4 little strands that are crimped.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna recreate that in a wig.
Oh, please, absolutely, please.
But,
and then ship it to me.
Yes, I'll make one for all of us.
Well, I'm matching wigs.
But I guess now is the time.
Well, we're gonna have matching suits for the stream.
Oh, of course,
so.
yes. Perfectly tailored.
I guess now is the time I should mention that Jonette was basically the Talking Heads replacement for David Byrne.
Fucking wild. You told me that.
Yeah.
You told us that. I was like, what?
After the Talking Heads broke up, they released an album as The Heads called No Talking, Just Head. And it features guest vocalists.
Wait, so no head?
God damn it. I should have expected that.
Got him.
But guest vocalists include Debbie Harry, Richard Hell, who's on this? Andy Partridge of XTC, and Gavin Friday of the post-punk band The Virgin Prunes is on this. But the only consistent vocalist that's on more than one song is Jonette Napolitano, and she was the one they brought on tour with them to sing the songs and also sing their old Talking Heads material. And this was going to be a full band, but David Byrne sued them, so they had to stop making music. And the thing is, it's not Talking Heads style music. It's like they're trying to be melancholy era Smashing Pumpkins. I really implore everyone here to look up The Heads Damage I Have Done and listen to Chris France and Tina Weymouth and Jerry Harrison all in their 40s trying to make this shock rock Hot Topic core.
Yeah.
The music video is so bad.
Oh,
it's so
yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
I mean, the fact that the title like has a lot in common with Animal I've Become says a lot about the energy.
That is
just
the
picturing
moment
that
Rock
played
was
by
born.
boomers.
3 Days Grace.
But yeah, I love this. I love Jonette's Twitter. It's mostly just palm readings and like and her newsletter about sipping tea, and then she'll occasionally tweet something about how the Talking Heads are assholes or how Elon Musk is doing crimes against humanity. It's like,
God,
be my friend.
Queen.
Be my friend,
Queen.
Jonette.
Just exactly the energy you want of it from an aging 90s rock singer.
Yeah, I wish I had the tweet where she, like, no context, no reply to anything, where she was like, there's the lady with assless chaps and the guy getting bucked by a tree. Like, what is that?
We'll retweet it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You can find it.
Yeah, you need to retweet that.
Yeah, I'll retweet it.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, this
Why-
song's good. I really like it.
Why are we on the very first episode of this series already halfway to all of the female representation in the car commercial number one?
Oh, God, yeah. What a dark way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Wait,
is Prince
first episode-
writing a Sinead O'Connor song also the closest we're going to get to any non-white representation on this series? There any others later?
There's
Jane's Addiction have
yeah.
dreads, but I don't know if it's
Oh,
white
yeah.
dreads or not. They have Spanish in the beginning of the song. I don't, but look, like I said, you trade. Look, folks, the people who are programming modern rock throughout the entire, they got their gaps. They've got their serious gaps.
Are you dunking on 90s rock right now?
No, I'm not. There's a lot of great songs, including our next song, which is Gene Loves Jezebel's Jealous.
Wait.
Which one, number one? What, Alex?
What
Are
about
we skipping a song?
Yeah, we're skipping
No,
a song.
Oh, no, we're not. So we're
Oh,
It-
it's just not ordered that way in the playlist. Okay.
so
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Hang on. We are skipping a song.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, we
Like I
got to
said,
talk about
I
this.
almost wanted to avoid this one. Well, this was my idea, and I'm trying to avoid it.
I want to
so-
talk about this.
So much like the car commercial number ones, where eventually we introduced the butt rock interlude, to sort of give us a little bit of peace, a little bit of like, okay, some will to keep going. This is serving the opposite purpose, where we're having too much fun. We're being so happy that we have to come down a little bit, and we're gonna check in on the 2020s charts because I don't know when we'll eventually here's the thing. I don't know when we'll get to that to the 2020 chart. Again, we won't get to that till at least 9 or 10 years if this podcast is still going by then. So we're going to talk about a couple of 2020's number ones throughout this series. To check back in on the charts, see how it's going, seeing what's popular, and seeing how things are changing. So our first car commercial interlude is Meg Myers' cover of the Kate Bush song "Running Up That Hill." But before we play that, let's hit that car commercial interlude music. All right, let's hear a little bit of Meg Myers.
Matty just vaped. I want everyone to know.
Snitching.
Yo, I just looked out my window and a Prius just showed up on my driveway.
Oh boy. Well, let's hear a little bit of Meg Myers' cover of "Running Up That Hill."
I thought you were already fading it out to stop just like 3 seconds.
Oh no.
This is the only thing the Stranger Things writers are allowed to listen to.
Yeah, I was gonna say the most like Stranger Things core song.
Which who also is in the Stranger Things soundtrack? Peter Gabriel with a cover of "Heroes" by David Bowie.
That's right.
Putting a fourth gun out on the dresser.
We have a whole
This is like
armory at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This isn't even that bad of a cover. It's just
No, it's
like
fine.
It's
Meg
just running up
Myers.
that hill, but slower.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound that different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Which is not to Meg Myers' credit. It's just that no changes to the production really were made.
This is not the worst cover I've ever heard, but it is the most useless.
Yeah, like the thing with "Running Up That Hill" is that it has some of the strongest bones you'll ever hear in a song. Like just one of the greatest songs ever written.
Yep.
And so it's a song that it's difficult to fuck up the song.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
If you just do it straight through, it's like, okay, cool. It's still like a great song, but Meg Myers just doesn't do a whole lot with it, Like it's fine. Like I don't hate it, but I chose it for this first episode because I think a lot of the first 2 episodes is like 80s runoff, so it felt appropriate to pick an 80s song to be the interlude to kind of ease us in a little bit.
So I need to confess that I wasn't paying attention to the release dates on the playlist that much and just assumed this also came out in 1991. I had no idea this was a hit like right now.
Yeah.
So I'm needing to recalibrate a whole bunch of my takes here because I was like, why was a "Running Up That Hill" cover hit 6 years later? Like, it's a fast turnaround. That's like if Machine Gun Kelly covered "Party Rock Anthem." Like,
I want to hear that so bad.
Yes.
Well, just wait 6 years for AJ Moser, Astronaut in the Ocean, to go number 1.
We're gonna talk about that song for 3 hours.
Yes.
Talk about a number of songs in this series for 3 hours. Knowing this is recent kind of knocks it down for me. Just
It's unnecessary.
Yeah, the music video.
It's not trying to do anything different, and which I feel very conflicted about because I hear "Running Up That Hill" and I'm like, well, it's running up that hill. I'm going to enjoy it on some level, but then ideologically, it's like, why? Because there are better covers of this that like do stuff with the very strong bones of the song. Like shout out to the Placebo cover, which is quite good and like actually varies, like does not just copy paste the entire arrangement with like boring modern synthesizers.
And a more recent cover, I like the Carsey Harris cover that just came out. I thought that was good because I think just the thing with Meg Myers she's like one of those artists that like the music industry has made up just to fill time on alt radio stations. Like that's what her entire purpose. But like it was like the Carsey Harris cover, like Will Toledo, a very underrated vocalist in my opinion. I think people don't give credit to him as a vocalist. I know. I'm sorry. Look, Gavin, this is the one time.
We're in the 90s,
it's a good cover.
baby.
We're in the 90s, baby. But Carsey Harris are a 90s worship band, so I mean, hey.
Mm-hmm. So where do y'all sit on the conspiracy theory that "Running Up That Hill" is about pegging?
What?
This is literally the first I'm hearing about this conspiracy
It's an
theory. Please tell
entire
me
thing
more.
on the internet because it's about.
Please tell me more.
Oh,
I
well,
want to hear more about pegging.
the chorus. Oh.
Wait, hang on. I gotta
Yeah.
Soundbite that.
Hang on.
Soundbite that.
Let's hear some more about peg. Let's pegging. Okay, my train of thoughts has been completely thrown.
Yeah.
my train of thought has been completely pegged off by pegging.
Well, the chorus is about a woman swapping places with her partner. So, like, immediately the internet was like, "Oh, okay, she wants to peg him."
I mean, I guess so, in that pegging is a natural part of any act of gender transgression. Like,
yeah,
you're not really reinventing the wheel there.
I mean, that is, pegging, and I think Wes Mudd famously did that gender swapping on his hit Control.
Can we get a peg instead of smack? Like, can someone manufacture that?
Hang on, let me see if I can time it right. That was horrible.
We're gonna have to get
that was horrible.
Cleanly get "I love the way you" and then my ass.
Oh boy.
And then we'll have our own hit song in 6 years that we can put in AJ Moser Acting on the Ocean.
Do we have any more thoughts on this Running Up That Hill cover?
No, pretty pointless.
Yeah. All right, back to the 90s, folks.
Let's go.
Our next song, as I was stating earlier, is Gene Loves Jezebel with Jealous, which was number one initially on August 11th, 1990 for 1 week, and eventually was swapped out with David J's I'll Be Your Chauffeur on August 18th, and then next week, Gene Loves Jezebel went number one once again, August 25th, 1990 for another week.
Number one twice.
Number one twice. So let's hear a little bit of Gene Loves Jezebel, Jealous.
This is so good.
This song
is
listen, hold on.
Worst song this week.
Let me just say a sentence to you. Let me just say a sentence to you. Incel titty bar anthem.
In what world was that supposed to help?
I was just like, that's not helping at all.
Think about that. The guy wrote like a song that only played for strip clubs about how he's jealous of everyone with a GI. Like,
yeah, it's helping me a little bit, Gavin.
I'll get into that.
This is like Sunset Strip, like Runoff. Like, what is this doing on this list?
Yeah, this is the bad kind of 80s runoff.
To me, like, the majority of the songs on this playlist, and this one especially, serve to illustrate why these 80s bands had to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, any songs on this playlist that really sound like the way rock music would in the 90s feel like crazy breath of fresh air compared to this.
I think y'all are just jealous.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Loves Jezebel
more like Gavin Loves Jezebel, folks. Look, am I right?
There's like 200 members of Gene Loves Jezebel, and we're not even one of them. So, like, what the fuck?
Gene Loves Jezebel at some point before the year's end.
Yeah,
look, Gene Loves Jezebel, famously known as the Armed of the 1880s, 1990s, where everyone and no one is a member of Gene Loves Jezebel.
So can I do my official Indie Heads podcast, Eddie Vedder Curse Conspiracy?
Oh no!
No!
Okay, strap in.
No.
So, infamously on the Butt Rock series, on the very last episode, Pearl Jam had a hit from the 90s that was remade with vocals. Do you remember the name of that song?
Brother.
Yeah.
Correct. So immediately you went into the car commercial series. And you had shit like Kings of Leon and Congos and 30 Seconds to Mars. All bands that had... What's that?
Brothers.
You said shit?
Yeah, all bands that had brothers. Well, 30 Seconds to Mars is like the greatest band of all time.
Thank you.
And I'm not just saying that so Jared Leto will hunt me for
we do
sport
not.
on his Reaction Island. But now we're in the 90s series. We're back to where Pearl Jam started. Gene Loves Jezebel, a terrible, terrible band made up of brothers that famously imploded. And coming up in the series, the final boss battle of the Eddie Vedder curse conspiracy, Oasis.
Yeah, I
Oh,
believe
boy.
it. That's enough proof for
Yeah.
me.
So what I'm saying is, before this series ends, one of the Gallaghers is going to kill the other, and Eddie Vedder is a prophet of God. But yeah, this song sucks. I know a lot about Gene Loves Jezebel more than I should. They're allegedly a goth band.
Yeah, allegedly heavy there. This is just straight up some like
Yeah.
hair metal bullshit. Like,
Look, I think
Yeah.
maybe at some point they played in like the Batcave or something, or friends with Susie and the Banshees. I don't know. I didn't really research them.
Maybe
I've
they
heard-
played in the haunted SUV.
Yeah, they played in Danzig's Haunted SUV. But I've heard 3 songs by this band. They all sound like this. Go check out Desire (parentheses Come and Get It). It's
No thanks, but thank you for the
Yeah.
No thanks, but thank you for offering.
But it's all awful. It's all meathead. Just pre Anthony Kiedis wanting girl songs. This is the worst one.
yeah, for sure.
I think the Gene Loves Jezebel guy and Anthony Kiedis should fight to the death, just so I can watch Anthony Kiedis
Yeah.
beat the Gene Loves Jezebel guy to death, because Anthony Kiedis would easily win that battle.
I mean, I don't know. Those brothers, if they team up, which they won't, they hate each other now.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about how there's 2.
Yes,
Gene Loves
let's talk
Jezebels
about
now.
Jay and Michael Aston. Jay was the singer and Michael was the guitarist. Michael was already out of the band when Jealous came out, and that's why I'm team him, because he had no hand in this.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. So they have a huge falling out. They've been suing each other for decades, and now there are 2 Gene Loves Jezebels, one in the UK, one in the US. Both of them have Twitter accounts. None of them are at Gene Loves Jezebel. One has love spelled LUV. It's my favorite thing ever.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is the worst song this week. Like, it's undisputed.
Yeah, objectively.
Yeah.
God, garbage band. Gene Loves Jezebel, more like they should stop.
Did we even mention the Mountain Goats in this entire discussion?
Yeah.
No, we
The
did
Mountain
not.
Goats wrote a song about this.
Yeah, the
Or-
final
There's
song.
a detail in a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, final song on their album Goths is about how the world forgot about Gene Loves Jezebel, and it's better
And
than
rightfully
anything.
so.
Yeah.
Yes,
don't,
rightfully.
don't rebirth that evil, John Darnielle.
Yeah, this song is my fault. I'm so sorry that this cursed your ears. We could have been listening to Midnight Oil.
Yeah, we could have
or,
been listening to
like,
Blue Sky Mine, which is a pretty good
Yep.
song.
or Policy of Truth by Depeche Mode. But instead, I was
Look,
like, oh, Gene
we
Loves
have to-
Jezebel.
It's important to have songs like this in the series, because we have to remember that this decade was not perfect for music. It was mostly perfect. It's mostly hits here, folks. But we have to remind ourselves that, hey, sometimes the radio stations were not playing good stuff. Because I feel like we'll kind of discuss this as we kind of go on throughout the series, but it's very interesting kind of to watch the flip, where it's very clear that, like, college, this was still such a young format for radio. And it's clear that it was a lot of people that were programming this stuff were people who came from college radio. And that was a very big early influence. But obviously, as we progress through the 90s and grunge becomes a thing, and then sort of bands that are kind of bridging the gap between grunge and this early stuff, and then going off and doing new things, like,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It's going to be very interesting watching the progression as this genre becomes more mainstream, essentially, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Jealous by Gene Loves Jezebel is the cock rock dick slap that shatters the rose-colored glasses of the 90s?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Um,
Put that on their
but
tombstones.
Look, when they die, they should have to share a coffin.
I agree.
It's what
Yeah.
they deserve.
yeah, absolutely.
Can I just real quick clarify my earlier point, which is just that I don't dislike these songs. I like most of the songs on this playlist. I just think they reek of like bloat and decay of the different like musical ideas that were going on in the 80s. Anyway.
Oh, completely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, our next song. So, in between the Gene Loves Jezebel, obviously it was David James.
Reign of
I'll Be Your
Terror.
Chauffeur. Then up next, a band that we talked about during the Butt Rock series.
On my episode, no less.
On your episode.
Wow.
So hey,
Returning champions.
yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
can say
oh,
that.
Well, here's the thing. So, look, I'll say this: Jane's Addiction are 2 for 2 so far in this in the number one series for me.
I'll give him one.
I like that. I like the one that we heard on the Butt Rock series. But our next song is Jane's Addiction "Stop," number 1 on September 1st, 1990 for 1 week, and then again on September 15th, 1990, in between the Railway Children's "Every Beat of the Heart," who is not a real band, and I almost wish we mentioned them because I could have made a QAnon joke. Save the Railway Children. But let's hear a little bit of "Stop" from Jane's Addiction.
I think I just have a uncontrollable aversion to Perry Farrell's.
Yeah.
Folks, a pair of rollerblades have just strapped themselves onto my feet. It is 1990. I'm gonna head to the beach and the Venice Beach skate park, and I'm gonna rollerblade with my best friends in the world. All right. It's like Brink like 7 years before Brink became a thing.
I did say in the chat earlier that the music video for this song just looks like the FMV intro of like a PS1 surfing game.
Yeah.
I'm growing a goatee like right now.
The most fucked up thing about the music video for this song is that
Hey, what happened to the music? Did he?
Oh,
He said stop. He said stop, and then it's stopped. What's?
Did the soundboard?
Oh,
there we go.
Anyway,
We're back.
people probably saw that music video and had their takeaway be that they wanted to fuck Perry Farrell, and it's gonna make me lose sleep tonight.
That's the most
That's
upsetting thing.
truly terrifying.
Look, I did say that I want to live in the music video because the music video.
Cool as hell.
So that you could fuck Perry Farrell?
No. If I'm gonna fuck anyone in Jane's Addiction, it's gonna be Dave. It's gonna be Liv Moss.
You mean
Liv
the
Moss
devil?
Man.
Yeah. My mom thinks it's the devil.
Oh, yeah, our parents apparently have conflicting Jane's Addiction's opinions.
We'll get to my dad's when we get to that song. But yeah, my mom.
Oh my god.
Navarro is the devil. But this,
Well, again, more reason why I want to go down on it.
this song's a fucking.
Yeah.
slapper.
Also, what if I told you all this is not the last time we're going to talk about Dave Navarro this episode?
God.
Oh, I'm worried. I am fucking
I'm terrified.
worried. But in the meantime, this song fucking shreds.
I love this song. I'm with
Yeah,
Matty.
I like this song a lot. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this reminds me of the Guitar Hero game that was just songs that were already in Guitar Hero. That's the first time I ever heard it, and I was like, "Hell yeah, this shreds!" And of course,
Yeah, I think that's where I heard it too.
now I have an allergic reaction to Perry Farrell just knowing all the shit I know about him. He seems like a
yeah.
major prick. But
Yeah.
Look, Perry Farrell created Lollapalooza, one of the biggest cancers on the music festival circuit.
absolutely,
Is a notorious, awful, evil Zionist. Generally looks like a little it's like what would happen if you had one of those like troll bridges that give you riddles. Like, what if you like said, "Hey, dude, like just stop washing your hair for like 5 months and check out just." And meet this guy Dave. He'll write you some songs. That's Perry Farrell. Evil man, but this song fucking slaps. I'm sorry, folks.
yeah. The bare
To
minimum.
me-
Go ahead.
Just to me, Perry Farrell is almost indistinguishable from the Buck Cherry guy. And
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I get
Yeah.
them mixed up so much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indisputable.
All right, Grant.
Yeah, the bare minimum for me. I've adopted Maddie's thinking on the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but for Jane's Addiction, it's like Perry Farrell just does not need to annoy me, and I'll be okay with it. And in this one, I said this in the chat, but he's basically doing red light, green light instructions, so I'm fine with most of it. That little part where the music drops out and it's just him and he's saying shit about like the goddamn radio and stuff. I hate that, but like
I like that part. I think it's
the rest of it I'm fine with.
Oh god.
Never say
Well,
Perry Farrell and cool in the same sentence again, or I'm disowning you.
I mean Perry Farrell. Like, here's the as someone who thinks this song slaps, Perry Farrell should never have been a lead singer of like a huge rock band. He should be like a children's school's like traffic person. You know, like that's the ideal job I see.
Yeah, he's like
for-
I disagree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
now that
Perry
you say-
Farrell away from the children.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, actually, yes, you are correct. You are correct. Perry Farrell should be like a bridge toll operator. Let's a similar role.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this one slaps. This one again, a white dudes with dreads anthem right
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
This is some Bill and Ted rock right here.
Yeah. Oh god. But and yeah, the music video, highly recommended. It's like there's like shots of Perry Farrell like surfing and wiping out, and like again,
was that him surfing?
Perry Farrell failed.
I don't know. It could. It looks like someone in the band. And also just like look, I haven't been to a concert since December 2019, and just looking at footage of the concert in the video, I cannot wait to go to my first show in August.
Yeah.
Like I miss it so much.
This is what they took from you.
This is what they took from you. My first show back originally was going to be Foxing, but if Jane's Addiction, if they're playing a show before
Bro,
that,
you're
I'm going to go see
betraying
Jane's
the
Addiction.
AWOL Nation Pact.
Oh man.
Let's move on to our next song. We'll discuss this off camera. Our next song after Jane's Addiction. So Jane's number one. In between that was, as I mentioned, Save the Railroad Children. The Railway Children, Every Beat of the Heart. And then after that was INXS, Suicide Blonde, which went number one on September 22nd, 1990 for 1 week. So let's hear a little bit of Suicide Blonde by INXS.
It is insane that a song can come after a song sung by Perry Farrell and still manage to feel icky. Like anything should feel pretty okay in comparison. But no. This is what we get.
This song wants to be Let's Dance by David Bowie so bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of like Let's Dance and what was obviously not Enjoy the Silence. What was the fucking Depeche Mode song that had the guitar? It's like a mix of like Let's Dance and Personal Jesus.
Yeah, I hear that.
Totally.
It was brutal.
But again, very ironic. This song ends up being, unfortunately.
Yes, very sad.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Jesus.
Obviously, famously known that the INXS guy, Michael
Hutchins.
Thank you. Unfortunately, hung himself in 1997. Although it is the hanging part is not disputed, but there's certain elements. Allegedly, he may have died from autoerotic asphyxiation. It's alleged. It's not confirmed. But it unfortunately is, of all the very funny ways to go out, it is among the funniest ways to go out. Like David Carradine, who B movie legend, forever will be scarred by dying from autoerotic asphyxiation, confirmed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, this song is like, it's a weird, but to just talk about the music, this one's kind of a weird one because like I think I like this song, but it is kind of one note. Like it very much doesn't really go. It kind of has it has the one idea and it just kind of sticks with that for the rest of the song. But like it's a solid idea to build a song around. Like I like the guitars are fun. I think Michael Hutchins is a good lead singer. I think he adds a lot of charisma. I like the little harmonica blasts that are in every once in a while. Like it's kind of fun.
It doesn't seem like it should be a single, and it definitely doesn't seem like it should be a number one hit.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I said in the chat, the song's too long, and it's like trying to force this like high energy, and you're kind of sitting there. At first, you're like, "Ooh, this is kind of fun," and then by the end, you're like, "Oh, when's this going to be over?" I was trying to think of a song to compare that to, and I think the closest thing is when the waiters start singing Public Domain Happy Birthday song to you at the restaurant.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
like that's what this feels like.
This song has a false ending, and I buy it every time because I want the song to end there. Like,
yeah. So speaking of endings, my first time listening to the playlist, I was not paying very much attention and did not realize this song was not stop.
Yeah,
like I thought stop just kept going. I literally did the John Mulaney Tom Jones thing of like, oh, like it stops for a second and has this weird like tempo and key change. That's kind of progressive of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought
I just like merged the two songs in my head because this feels like a coda to the one before it.
Yeah,
and goes on for 3 minutes.
Yeah, this one, the previous one, and the next one, they're all by radically different bands, but they all have like the same energy.
Yeah.
I feel
Also,
like
we're in this very bummer stretch, like this and the next song especially,
Yes.
of like great 80s bands just completely running on creative fumes.
This one in
Yeah.
particular, this one feels like the inverse of Need You Tonight, like even down to the riff. This one's like da 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 da, and then of course Need You Tonight is da 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 da. Like it feels like they're like, all right, let's reverse it.
It's like Chubby
Yeah.
Checker doing Let's Twist again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this and Jane's Addiction, I would say one of the first true bands of the 90s.
Definitely.
Weirdly enough, despite starting in like,
Yeah.
you know, in the mid 80s, like them and then Red Hot Chili Peppers, despite both those bands starting in the 80s, do feel like two of the first like true 90s bands of like, okay, this is kind of like where things are going to start going. Whereas in INXS, where kind of it feels like it's got the 80s sheen to it, whereas Jane's Addiction feels much closer to like it's like Jane's Addiction, not a grunge band, far from grunge, but very much is a band that would go on to heavily influence the scene in a way, in terms of like setting certain things up. Like obviously like Lollapalooza ends up being this big thing in the 90s because that's what Jane's Addiction is like. We're going to break up and this is like our last like hurrah, essentially. Whereas this INXS just feels like, again, just sort of this 80s runoff, you know.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun, but again, it is we're hitting the point now in the charts, I would say, where it is just like looking at the clock and being like, okay, so like we're gonna enter the 90s soon, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like another year until it feels like we actually get there.
Yeah.
But as we were saying, 80s runoff, our next song.
Oh,
no,
but,
no, no, no.
before that, yeah,
I can't
go
let
off,
you move
Lily.
on.
Okay,
Go
okay,
off.
oh yeah, okay, go off. Sorry, my bad,
so,
my bad.
Listeners, for context, while we were away with technical issues, we were talking about the rest of the playlist a little bit, and we were talking about the INXS song and Michael Hutchence. And I asked naively, out of nowhere, like, hey, did you all also watch like the INXS reality TV show from way back when? To which everyone else said, what? So I did not do any research for this episode. This is a little research corner of just letting you all know that this show existed and was a thing that I watched. So the show was called Rockstar: INXS, and it was like an American Idol style like reality competition show to become the singer of INXS, because they had like reunited and needed a replacement for Michael Hutchence or whatever.
Ooh.
And so it's just like each week, like it was like the 10 people who would all do covers of songs, and then like American Idol, people would text in and vote and then eliminate them one by one.
What the
Until eventually a singer was chosen. Very important to know, the show is executive produced by Survivor's Mark Burnett and was hosted by Brooke Burke and Jane's Addiction guitarist Dave Navarro.
What the fuck?
This motherfucker
Was one
everywhere.
of the judges. The roster of judges on, because also they did a second season of this show with a different band, and I watched both seasons in back-to-back summers with like my whole family. I remember this so clearly as a thing. I don't know why we were so interested in it.
Fuck. Copyright idea right now. We're stealing this, except bands who have members who have been canceled. We will be replacing them with fan voted. We're gonna fix these bands. Copyright Gavin, do not steal.
Yeah, and I mean the amazing thing about this show is that after like all this furor, and this show ran for like 3 or 4 months, it took forever to get the shit done. But then the guy they picked as a winner immediately like flaked out and dropped out of the band after one tour.
Holy shit, that rocks.
In incredible fashion. And so I need to preface this by saying, this is the page from his Wikipedia page.
Oh fuck yeah.
Drug addiction is not funny, but in the context of this weird fucking misguided reality show, it kind of is, just on a like this happened level. So on February 16, 2009, the winner, JD Fortune, revealed in an interview that INXS fired him from the band with a handshake at a Hong Kong airport. Fortune admitted to heavy cocaine use during the latest INXS tour, and he acknowledged that his drug habit had likely contributed to their decision. Fortune stated that he had been off cocaine for the past 2 years, and at the time he was living out of his car and had put all his remaining money into his solo album, The Death of a Motivational Speaker.
Oh my god.
Hold on, there's more. Former INXS manager and now record company head Chris Murphy responded at the time by saying that Fortune had never been fired by the band, but that the band was reluctant to continue working with him because of the drug use allegations. The follow-up I should actually find just while we're here, so you all know that I should have invoked this during the Butt Rock series too. It didn't occur to me that no one else just knew all this. So the second season, Rockstar: Supernova, is the second season of the reality TV show Rockstar. Dave Navarro and Brooke Burke are back.
Hell yeah.
So features 15 contestants competing to become the lead vocalist of a newly formed supergroup featuring Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted, and former Guns N' Roses guitarist Gilby Clarke.
Hell yeah. Shit. Damn,
Gavin, you must watch all seasons of this show.
Yeah, we need a Gavin commentary series on that one.
I'll be watching that. I'm gonna look it up right now.
It did not occur to me that other people did not know that those shows were a thing that happened, because I did watch both of them at the time.
Was this a Canadian thing, or was this like some VH1
No, this is
bullshit?
like an American thing. Although the winner of the first season was Canadian, very notably.
Canadian excellence, folks.
Do you think Dave Navarro was
there was some Canadian excellence on that show, but no, this aired on like CBS or Fox or whatever. I think they filmed it like at the Chateau Marmont or something. I remember. There's all I got to do a deep dive on the lore of that
is
show.
that is the second
all
time.
kinds of crazy things that happen.
Yeah, I know what I'm watching tonight.
I did not expect the Chateau Marmont to be both featured in the Death Grips Discography Breakdown and the 90s Rock #1s. So.
It's thematic cohesion, baby.
That cohesion. Our next song, though. Let's get to our next song, which is The Cure's "Never Enough," which is #1 on September 29th, 1990, for 2 weeks, and then #1 once again on October 20th, 1990, for 1 week. So let's hear a little bit of "Never Enough" from The Cure.
Like Suicide Blonde, this song is just like 15 seconds of an idea, and then it just does that for 4 minutes.
I'm bummed that this is the Cure song I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. God.
Like thankfully we do get a good Cure song, I think, on the next episode. But
the Cure have released countless great songs.
The Cure are my favorite band of all time.
Not it.
All-time favorite band for me. Like, I used to do my hair like Robert Smith in high school. I'll find a picture. I'll send it to the chat. But the Cure, the second I heard Boys Don't Cry, I was like, I have to know everything about this band. And I just fell in love. I bought the Greatest Hits album, I think at Best Buy in like 2009. And this is one of the last songs.
Yeah, same. The one with like the like...
Yeah, him with like his hands out and the stars around it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this was the song where I was always like, you know what? You can just go back to the beginning and listen to everything through like Boys Don't Cry to High, you know? Yeah. So this is the first song they released post Disintegration, which I think
is insane.
Their best work ever. And this was on Mixed Up, which is a remix album. This is the only new song on the entire thing. Everything it's like old songs like A Forest and like I think In Between Days, and they're all remixed to be like dance tracks. So obviously they wanted to make something new in that style, but I think it just fails.
Oh yeah.
It's just not
interesting.
Yeah.
It's just noise. Like it's very if we thought that the INXS song was like kind of one note, this is a step above that, where like it's literally Robert Smith just being like, it's never enough, just this never enough motif. And like I pulled up the waveform because we were having a little like pre-meeting yesterday, just sort of making sure the soundboard and all that stuff was working. The fucking waveform was it's all green.
Car commercial.
It's all green.
Car commercial flashback.
Which is again, obviously it was like a car commercial waveform almost. Like it was. This is not a good song, folks.
The first shot in the loudness wars.
Like the thing to me is like the two things I look for in a really great Cure song are Robert Smith is, no matter like the backing track, he's always going to have some really phenomenal vocals, and Simon Gallup is always going to deliver a really good bass riff. And you can't hear Simon at all on this song, and Robert's just going, it's never enough for half of the lyrics in this thing. Like, what is there in this?
It very much feels like it feels like instead of like making a real song to get remixed, they're like, let's just skip that part and just like write like the remix already. It's like, well,
they definitely,
that's a good
they
reason.
just wanted to have an original song on this remix album so people would buy it and want to hear that.
Yes,
that too.
Like literally,
absolutely.
yes.
It's just some shitty song they slapped on there, you know.
And that's why.
And then man, it worked.
It's like that fucking Nirvana song. You know,
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just
how does this feel
at least
more?
The Nirvana song was like a real song and like good.
Yeah. Like this feels more half written than the song by a dead guy, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say, I really would recommend the live performance of this at the Brit Awards, because they have to do it in like the Cure style, so the guitars and the bass are up way too high, and Robert Smith is trying to do the vocals, and you know, because it's like a dual track, one half is doing whatever the other lyrics are and the other's going, it's never enough, and they overlap, so he's like out of breath trying to keep up with it.
Oh my god.
It's so good. But yeah,
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Robert. I love you. I would love to be your friend. But this is just not good.
It's crazy that this was the follow-up to Disintegration.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
I wonder if this started also as like a cut track or an unfinished track from it too. Because Grant, I don't know if you noticed this, but like towards the end of the song, he starts doing the like do 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 do.
Yes!
That's at the end of Homesick.
Yes.
I'm like, you just ripped off one of your best songs.
Yeah,
in
this feels like he had some lyrics left over from the Disintegration sessions.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we should do something with this. And they probably were already working on this fucking remix album. And they're like, well, we'll just put it on here. Because the lyrics don't fit with what the style is.
No.
They're very Disintegration style lyrics, as little as they are. Like an album about like struggling with sobriety and everything. And then you just release this like Red Hot Chili Peppers ass shit with lyrics about how personally insecure and how you're not good at anything. It's like, what is this?
It does feel like he had like a Cure lyrics Mad Lib out and then just made Never Enough all the blanks.
Yeah, this is Robert Smith word generator.
Well, let's move on to our last
Matty,
song of the
before you do
episode.
that, for the first time out of 10, you're gonna need to hit that fucking soundboard, buddy.
Oh shit! All
Let's
right,
go.
all right, folks.
Warning. This is a certified California monthly top 10 song of the 90s. Prepare yourself for a goddamn bomb.
Let's go.
It's The Replacements, Merry-Go-Round, which is number 1 on October 13th, 1990 for 1 week.
Yeah,
We're being overtaken by Never Enough for the next week.
I'm a white guy. I like this song.
Yeah, this is great. I'd never heard this song. I really like it.
Yeah, this is after
I
Bob
had
Smith
never heard
was
either.
out of the band. Their guitar player was named Slim Dunlap. So so fucking awesome, and he's a great guitar player. He sounds great. Love the way.
Oh wait, I wanna correct myself. This song also went number 1 once again on November 3rd, 1990 for 3 more weeks. So
Alex is just vibing.
This, the Cure song, and the song that's going to begin our second episode, we're all fighting for number 1 in the same period.
Everyone's just vibing.
Yeah.
This is such a breath of fresh air after
what
this
a great way.
I'm not even that into this song, and it's still after that previous run. You're like, oh, thank God.
This saved the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this one's fun.
It's worth noting, this is like the era of this band that everyone, well, like all the like fucking guys who look like me hate. It's not that bad. They're just mad Bob's not in the band. It's you know, this is really the only song from this album you need. But what a nice song.
Yeah, this is a nice song. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a nice little song. Yeah.
I wonder if our friends of the show from Merry-Go-Round magazine, I wonder if that's where they get the name from, was from this song.
Oh, could be.
Could be. And also, I want to highly recommend the Introducing podcast. They just wrapped up their Our Podicano series on Our Band Could Be Your Life. They did an episode on The Replacements with Felix from Chapo, and they shouted us out in the episode, which I thought was very sweet. And I just want to mention that it was like that our shitty little podcast had such an impact that we got name dropped twice during that series to talk about how bad the music was from that era compared to when during the Our Band Could Be Your Life era. But no, this one's fun. I like this one. I think it's a good way to end off the episode.
A pleasant little song.
Yeah,
I have to imagine most of you feel about this song the same way I feel about Here's Where the Story Ends, where it's like, yeah, I'm just like biologically inclined.
Oh, absolutely.
To vibe to this.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's just in my blood. This guy going yeah, like that. I just love it.
It's like, we have, your white women, going through it. We have, your white men going through it like this song, and then we have also white men going through it, but it is just lots of misogyny, just lots just they're going through it, and the it is hating women. So it's a land of contrast, the 1990s, folks.
Yes.
It's a land of contrast.
Crazy how that stuck with us from both this decade and butt rock. Who would have guessed that misogyny would have been a trend?
And even car
yeah.
commercial number ones to an
Yeah,
extent.
a couple of those. I like that you're broken like me.
Yeah.
If again, I'm glad that you picked Shinedown instead of. Thankfully, hopefully, no one in love with the band is on Cameo.
I didn't even check. I didn't want to check. I decided to do the evil thing and give butt rock.
I think you should not give. Yeah, you should never give. I want to say, since we're talking about cameos, Alex, I was going to try to get you a cameo. Actually, was it Alex? No, Gavin. I was going to try to get you a cameo, Gavin.
Oh boy.
I mentioned Alex because I was brainstorming with Alex.
Matty and I spoke about this.
Yes.
Oh boy.
So Gavin had to let me in on the cameo stuff early. Did not let me know about my cameo, but let me know about everyone else's cameos because I would have to play them all. And I was like, okay, I gotta get one on Gavin. If he's got this planned, I gotta get one on him. And I tried my best, Gavin. I fucking tried, but I try to reach out to the Merchants of Midnight to get a cameo from them because they're not a cameo. I emailed them. I emailed them from the email that's on their website or their Facebook. The email fucking bounced. And so I'm like, okay. I messaged them on Facebook. They read the message but did not respond to me.
They left us on red.
They left us on red.
You got ghosted by
We got fucking ghosted by the guys who wrote "Welcome to the Rock Show."
Oh, we got welcomed.
Yeah.
We've
They
been
did not wanna welcome
unwelcomed
us.
from the rock show.
How dare they?
I'm not again, I wanted to get that for Gavin, but they unfortunately boomed us. So I will have to figure out someone else to boom Gavin with.
Watch, they're gonna send it in tomorrow.
I'm declaring war on Merchants of Midnight. It's over for you fuckos. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Please leave them alone. They're probably nice guys who did don't actually do anything weird to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is it for episode 1 of the 90s rock number ones. So I said in the chat that I'm gonna play a game, and this is a game. This is not. Don't worry, it's not too bad. It's not bad. It's not that bad. I made it seem like it was that bad in the chat, but it's not that bad. So we're gonna do. One of the podcasts I've been listening to, or at least I was listening to in the last month or two, was Seeing Saw, which was the official Saw podcast leading up to the Jigsaw movie.
Nice.
And they played a game at the end of every episode where they would decide what their favorite trap of the movie was, and that would sort of go up against their favorite trap of the next movie and see who would go on from episode to episode. So I thought it'd be fun to do that for this series, where we would all collectively pick our favorite song from this episode and vote on it, and then whatever that song would go up against the best song from next week's episode, and so on, and seeing who the final survivor of the 90s rock number ones would be. So I will go first. My pick is Enjoy the Silence, Depeche Mode. It's got to be that. I love that Concrete Blonde song, but I mean, it's fucking Enjoy the Silence.
If we were to go off of what has already been spoken, it's 2 for Here's Where the Story Ends, 2 for Enjoy the Silence, and 1 for Merry Go Round.
Okay, so Gavin, you're
tiebreaker here.
Yeah, you got to be the tiebreaker then.
Ooh, that's evil. Ooh, I guess I have to go Enjoy the Silence, but it's close. I enjoy those. Those are probably my top 3 songs from this episode. Being honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, cut you up there too, but this was a good playlist. Aside from some boys not wanting to bring it, some low energy posts in the later half.
Robert Smith, I'm doing a brother check-in.
Yeah.
Do Loves Jezebel needs to do a brother check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god. Well,
wait, what are our votes?
It was. Well, again, actually, let's just to double check.
One, yeah.
Let's do an official one. So my choice is Enjoy the Silence from Depeche Mode. That is my choice. Alex, what is your choice for the favorite song of this week?
I'll go with Here's Where the Story Ends.
Okay. Grant, your favorite song of the week?
Well, it's really like a 4-way battle for number one between Cuts You Up, Enjoy the Silence, Here's Where the Story Ends, and Merry Go Round. But I've got to go with Here's Where the Story Ends. I just love everything about it.
Okay.
Lily, then your choice then.
Yeah, mine's Here's Where the Story Ends too.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
Well,
wrong.
we are wrong. So our song that's going on to next week in terms of the battle for best song of the 90s rock number ones is Here's Where the Story Ends from the Sundays?
Yes.
The
Yes.
Sundays.
The Sundays.
The Sundays.
Down
Sorry.
in the official wiki as a vote for Merry Go Round. I'm removing my asterisk vote for Enjoy the Silence. Yeah.
Well, all right.
Whoever's keeping the official tally of these.
Alrighty then. So that is it for this episode, not the series.
Not the
We have
series.
Bye, everyone.
we have 11. Well, here's the thing. We have
Gabriel.
Oh my god.
We have 9 more mainline episodes planned after this, and then 2 should have beens, and then maybe even a 13th with the cuts we made, with the best of the cuts. But before we go, Grant, is there anything you want to plug before we head out?
Sure. I guess follow me on Twitter at Brooklyn Dad Defiant. There's an exclamation point at the end. But no, I don't really use Twitter. I just use it to doom scroll and support my friends. If you want to follow me and say that I'm an asshole for my takes on this episode, you can hit me up on Instagram at Madame McSpooky Drag. That's MADAME McSpooky Drag. I'm working on a series of David Lynch inspired looks. I'm doing a Twin Peaks thing.
Ooh.
It's mostly just shit posts. I'm doing a look tonight or tomorrow, inspired by early 90s stuff to plug the pod. And also, for as little as $1 a month on the Indie Heads Podcast Patreon, you can get early access to episodes and join the Indie Heads Podcast Discord. You should do that. There's a lot of brainworms when it comes to the songs.
Yeah,
Gabriel.
I'm just gonna say this: if anyone is not subscribed to Patreon yet, I think you kind of have to for this series.
If you don't, there's going to be one 3.5-hour episode that makes no sense.
Yeah, invest early in that.
Yeah. Quite literally. And then Lily, anything you want to plug before we head out?
No, not really. I am online at comet_body on Twitter and Instagram now. I'm not really doing anything on there, but I might eventually. So if you want to see things I might do in like a year or a year and a half, I don't know. Stick around. Follow those. Wait patiently.
Alrighty then. That is it for this week. We will join you all next week as our 2 guests. Of course, we'll have a rotating podcast guest. And then our special guest. So next week we'll be joined by Ollie, who I think is making their first podcast appearance, I want to say in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while since Ollie's been back on the pod.
Since the 90s.
It's the actual 1990s. And then our special guest, Boringstein, will be joining us. Again, I'm very excited to have them on the show, as next week is the second stage of the 80s runoff, and hopefully not the last of the 80s runoff, because again, I don't think we're fully done with the 80s runoff until like episode 5, but in terms of just like pure 80s runoff for like the entire duration, that is episode 2.
Yeah, I'll send in a written apology for a couple of the songs.
Here's the thing. You may be on the next episode, Grant, because we might need your expertise once again.
Okay. I'll pop in to talk about Andrew Eldritch and the horrors he is doing to music.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Of course, as Grant said, if you're not already subscribed to our Patreon, patreon.com/IndieHeadsPodcast. Once again, it's going to be really important to again, you got to get in on the brainworms. And then I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning of each episode. I want to make some special shout outs to I think about 2 or 3 of our patrons, people who are going above and beyond $15 a month or more. As Lily stated, Lily's mom, Georgia Mikowski.
We need to get Georgia on the pod.
We're gonna. I'm playing the
Georgia.
long game. I'm talking her into it.
We need a playlist.
We're again.
Yeah,
Lily,
we
get your
really
mom
need a
on that.
from her.
Alex RLD, who is a recent, I think, 15 a month patron, and our most giving patron ever, Bex, who we did our first playlist episode on their playlist.
That's right.
And has continued to give us $20 a month each month. I don't know why, but we thank you very
Yes.
much for your support.
Thank you,
Yes.
Bex.
Yes.
The sugar mommy of the Indie Heads podcast.
If that's our official title.
But yeah, that is it for this episode. We will see you all for the patrons. We'll see you all next Sunday, and then for our other listeners, next Tuesday for episode number 2 of the 90s Rock number ones. Theme song by Barely March, artwork by Pega, and yeah, we'll see you all next week, and bye-bye.